audience, will you please give a warm welcome to Michael Smyth. He's a climber to the leg corner wearing the white from Smyth and Maurice Forbes. At the weight today, both boxers scaled 10 stone 8 pounds. Your officials in this contest, your timekeeper Mr. Danny Peacock, your referee Mr. Ed Thompson.
Welcome back then. This fight number 3 on the card and features the very useful Maurice Forbes against the equally useful Michael Smyth. And sitting in with me at the moment is Al Hamilton. Al, you're from Brixton, you know all about these guys. Tell me about Maurice Forbes.
Well, I watched Maurice Forbes in Jamaica a couple of years ago when he won the national championships, and he looked very good then. He's here, 5 fights unbeaten, but he's taking on a man tonight with 13 fights who looks very, very big for me as a welterweight. It'll be very interesting. They call him the hidden secret. He's got to show something tonight.
Great, and we all know that Maurice Forbes is one hell of a body puncher, but let me tell you, Al, so is Michael Smyth.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Sure thing.
Over to you.
Right, Michael Smyth, starting statically, very strong fighter, does like to work to the body, and you told me earlier, Al, that Maurice created a bit of a sensation in the gym with a body shot.
Yes, apparently he busted Owen Barkley, who's a light heavyweight's ribs. So if he can punch that hard, then it'll be interesting to see. But apparently Smyth is apparently a good body puncher too.
He certainly is, and he's a tough man as well. Maurice Forbes, nice smooth mover, good boxer, and as we know, good puncher. But Michael Smyth might not be that busy, but what he does is very effective.
Yes, I mean, let's face it, he's from the same gym as Steve Robinson. You know, Di Gardner never brings them unless they're really ready to fight. So we're in for a treat, and I'll just sit back now with you, Steve, listen to you, and then just watch it.
Well, I'll tell you something, Al. I think we're in for an absolute treat here, as you said. Michael Smyth, unbeaten in 13 professional contests, and I was there when he made his debut, you know, against Carl Brazier, and broke poor little Carl up with body punches. That was at the Royal Lancaster Hotel. Lovely left hook there from Smyth, catching Forbes on the chin.
Yes.
Maurice took it well, comes back behind the double jab.
And another significant point, I think this is the first time that Maurice is going 8 rounds. And that'll be very, very significant.
It certainly will, yes. And I think you'll also find that Michael Smyth, although he's more experienced, hasn't done that kind of distance himself. And this is a real trade fight. Very, very interesting. 2 unbeaten men. Something he's going to give.
Yeah, and if you look around the hall, you'll notice you have, you know, Ferris Frank Maloney is here. You've got people like Colin McMillan. I saw Gary Mason earlier.
Curtin Lang just walked past, yeah.
So yes, I mean, you know, it's, you know, people, it's a fighter's fight.
Sure, yeah, great trade fight. And a good start, head to head. Neither man yet has managed to dominate this first couple of minutes.
Oh, that's a good right hand again by Smyth.
And we've yet to see evidence of either man banging to the body. First head hunting.
Yeah, there's a couple there now. No, I don't think this should be the tactics that Forbes should be using.
Oh, and it's gone over. Well, almost gone over him, and that's up. Oh, and again, Smyth getting through the left hook. And it's worth mentioning that Michael Smyth holds a very good win over the very useful Chris Saunders. Saunders, of course, beat Kevin Lushing inside the distance.
Yes, and they were touting Lushing as a possible British hope after beating Curtin Lang. So, and that left hook a while ago, I mean, I think for my money, it looks a hell of an uphill task now.
Yes, it's a very very stiff task, I think, facing Maurice Forbes, but I don't think we should say he's buried at this point because he's a very skillful fighter. Well, I think it's fair to say, Al, that Smyth probably took the first round.
Yes, definitely. He staggered Forbes, and I think that you know, Forbes has got to change his tactics. I think he needs to be a little bit more elusive. You know, physically, Smyth has the advantage. There's no ifs and buts about that.
Yep,
he's a more seasoned pro with 8 more professional fights.
Yes.
So he needs to move around and keep out of trouble.
Quite right. He's been actually boxing in higher class than Maurice, although Maurice does possess a second-round knockout of Dave Madge. I think it's fair to say that people like Des Robinson, Chris Saunders, Gordon Blair chinned in 4 rounds last time.
Yeah. Yes. It's a different class, you know, and well, we'll see.
But also, Al, I think it's also fair to say that Carly Carew seems to have restrained these lads, and now it's time that this man's let off the leash and let him go, because he'll need to.
Well, yes, as you know, Steve, there's no hiding place in them ropes.
Too right,
you know, after a while, you just have to face up to whether you're good enough or not.
Quite right. So, Al Hamilton, possibly shading in favour of Michael Smyth at the ultimate outcome in this one. I'm not too sure at the moment. I think Maurice Forbes has got the talent. Can he produce it? Round 2, scheduled for 8. An intriguing welterweight contest.
Very much so. But on the evidence, you see, the punch that is causing the problem is a left hook. And on the evidence of what I see Smyth is doing, to me, every time that he puts a shot together, you can see that Forbes knows about it.
And this is a very, very classy fight. Lovely left hook again there from Smyth. Oh, and Forbes comes back. And this is a fascinating match, Alan.
And I'll tell you this, you know, yes, this is going to be some classic because they're both looking for the openings.
Oh, that's pure class, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the kind of thing that makes people appreciate boxing, I think, you know, because, good close work from Forbes. But Smyth is right back, you see, and every time it's like,
as I said before, he doesn't throw too many, but when he does, they count, don't they?
Yes, very much so.
And of course he has the strength to stand in front of a man like Maurice.
Yes, and you see, and what you've got to understand is that Smyth has this ability to just every now and again, to just bob and weave, and by doing that, that left hook comes in again. I think that's the punch that's going to cause the problem tonight.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. And now Smyth switching to the body, and Maurice Forbes follows that example, takes a left hook to the chin. Lovely work.
No.
Different class, Al, I think.
No. That is, to my mind, that is European standard.
Oh, yeah. Certainly British Championship standard.
And that, come back.
Something comes back
here now.
Oh, yes, good work, this by Maurice Forbes.
This is interesting.
Punching punches coming in from him, having sustained a terrible barrage from Smyth.
This is interesting.
And it was worth coming to see this one.
Hey. Yeah, this is some fight. And his nose is busted. No win for a fight. Yep.
Great round there. And I see you're applauding, Al, and it's spontaneous, isn't it? You can't help yourself.
It's a hell of a fight.
Great round. About even, I would say.
Dennis Andres has turned up. Hi, Dennis. Good to see you. Yeah, no. This is hell. This is a real good fight. One of the best I've seen for a long time. Very good domestic fight.
And we've only had 2 rounds.
Yeah. And
you noticed there, Al, at the end of that second round that Michael Smyth had a pretty nasty nosebleed.
Yes, I didn't believe that Forbes could have come back after that hammering, but he has, and he now knows that he has the power to hurt him. So, you know, this is where it becomes interesting.
Pretty level round, eh?
Yes, level. So, okay, they're even now. It's back to round 1, and it'll be interesting to see what happens from here. It's a man who wants it most.
Certainly, round 3 then.
Yeah.
2 very determined gladiators out there tonight. Michael Smyth in the blue and white, Maurice Forbes in the white and blue. And I tell you something, Al, I don't really think Maurice should get involved in a head-to-head free-swinging punch-up with Smyth.
No, that's not what he should do. You know, he should counter like he did at the end of the second round, and get Smyth coming onto his punches.
Plenty of speed.
Yes, plenty of speed.
Bags of variety, and I tell you what, this is a real classy pairing, and a very brave match, really.
Yes. No, and I think you've got to give credit to Carly Carew. because, you know, a lot of people would hide someone like Forbes, but to have taken on a man with 8 fights more than you, but he's showing some steel here tonight.
Some classy punches coming in from both of them, and of course, Maurice Forbes very heavily supported here. Michael Smyth brought no one except the trainer with him.
That's a good right hand to the chin by Smyth. But yes, Forbes took it well, and again.
Excellent stuff.
There's just something about the quality of Smyth's work, though, that I like. You know, his punches have that bit more venom.
It's very compact, isn't it? Very quick.
Yes, you say 3s and 4s. Oh.
And you can't relax for a second against Smyth.
No. Once you give him a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get well hurt. Yep.
But Maurice coming back again, but suddenly two-handed from Smyth. Oh.
No.
Oh, look,
that's a good. No, it's over. It's over. It's over.
It's over. Win number 14 then for Michael Smyth.
Smyth knew he was in a fight.
Dramatic win there for Michael Smyth.
Yes, he knew he was in a fight. Yeah, but came a bit too early for Maurice Forbes. This boy is too seasoned for him. Like we said before. Yeah, just a little bit too much.
Wonderful win there for Michael Smyth in 2 rounds.
Yeah,
Sorry,
3
rounds.
Yeah. He deserved it. But Forbes can come again. I mean, you know, there's no disgrace in this defeat. He can come again from this.
And well, the gamble didn't quite pay off there for Carly, a man not known for his mistakes, but possibly, as you said, Al, just a wee bit too soon.
No, yes, and I think when you look back on it, say Smyth is going over and applauding him because Smyth knows he was in a good fight.
Yeah, sure thing.
At the end of the second round, he knew he was hurt. He had serious problems. He overcome them, and the thing I like about this kid is that ability to go through the disastrous moments. That right hand that he finished it with was a piece of a right hand.
Beautiful punch.
Beautiful shot.
So,
I expect him to go a long way.
And it's nice that this crowd, who are Forbes supporters, are appreciating Smyth's performance.
This is what it's all about. And I think that when we can have, yes, brilliant. I mean, I'm going to join in it too.
I'm
going to join in. Because I think that this is what we need to see. At the end of the day, it's a sport.
Sure.
You know, and yes, it's brilliant.